We will now have a session by Dr. Jayachandran, and Dr. Jayachandran will talk to you about ChemFoam. It's a solver used for designed to use for chemical reactions, and it's an excellent starting point for those who want to study the influence of chemical reactions and how open foam can be used for that. So very quickly, Dr. Jayachandran did his PhD at IIT Kharagpur in cryogenic engineering, and at present he is working as a project research scientist at the Center of Excellence in Oil, Gas, and Energy at Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, at IIT Bombay. And here his research focus is on the on multi-phase flows and is the hydrodynamics of multi-phase reactors, and also in nuclear thermal hydraulics, heat transfer, and cryogenics. With that, Dr. Jayachandran, over to you to please conduct the session on reaction modeling using ChemFoam. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so good evening, everyone. So this section will be basically a very basic introduction to reaction modeling using ChemFoam, which is an open form solver, which is basically a chemistry validation solver. So this will serve as a very basic introduction to most of you who are working on this reactor modeling in different applications, including combustion. So I am myself Jayachandran. I work at IIT Bombay right now. So okay. So coming to the reactor applications. So I will briefly go to some of the important examples why we need these chemically reacting flows to be studied. So one is this IC engines which come in the automobile industry, where the fuel and air gets mixed and undergoes combustion, which is a very important application that has been studied in the automobile engineering field. Then we have the chemical reactors. Chemical reactors is actually a very general class. We have different types of reactors. In this 3-day workshop, we have seen that people asking questions about photocatalytic reactors, packed bed reactors, bubble column reactors. There are some questions on 3-phase fluidized bed reactors. So every chemical processing reactor comes under this general category of chemical reactors and processing industry. So then we have in the materials and metallurgical engineering, we have the blast furnace, where the ore will be heated to very high temperature to get the desired product. Then we have the jet engine application in the aerospace engineering, which is very similar to the IC engine application, where combustion is happening at the combustion chamber of the jet engine. So basically, what I'm coming to tell in a nutshell is that this reacting flows happen almost in every aspect of engineering field. So it is very important to understand this reacting flows. And this is a first attempt to model a chemical reaction using OpenFOAM. So basically, I'll be using ChemFoam solver. ChemFoam is basically a chemistry validation solver. So as the name suggests, it is used to validate the chemical reactions. Whatever chemical reactions we are going to use, we will validate that reactions in a single geometry cell where the fields are created from initial conditions. So right now we have seen different 3D geometries, 2D geometries, 1D geometries, etc. But this ChemFoam solver is a single geometry cell. And we'll be solving the equations in that particular point. So basically it will be a system of ODEs that is being solved here. So coming to the structure, standard file structure of ChemFoam, we have the constant folder and the system folder. And the constant folder has its chemistry properties, initial conditions, reactions, thermophysical properties. And the system folder by default has this control dict, FP schemes, and FP solution. So initially I will explain this, and then I will show an example how this can be extrapolated to a CFD case. Oh, so if you have a fluid domain, how this files can be brought into that picture. So before going to the next slide, I hope everyone got that mail on this ChemFoam code files. So are you able to locate this ChemFoam _techcube.zip file? It comes under code files folder in the ChemForm folder. Is everyone able to locate these files in your downloads folder? So in your case, in downloads, there will be code files. In that ChemForm folder will be there. Inside that, there will be a zip file. So is everyone able to locate? Shweta ma'am, can you please?
Yeah, so one of them has said yes. So
Okay.
I'm hoping everyone has. If so, please say yes. So
ma'am, actually, I'm unable to see the chat. So you please.
That's okay. I'll say that. So I think they have been able to access the code files. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay.
Please continue, Dr. Jayachandran.
Okay, fine. So what we will do is we have to take this, first we have to extract this folder and copy that extracted folder to the run folder of OpenFOAM. So how we will do that? So right click, extract here. This is standard procedure. So we will have the ChemForm underscore TechCube folder we have. So how to copy from this location? You can do it easily by opening a terminal at this location, wherever you have that folder. Then cp -r, then you say type ch tab, you will get that file name. You can just type ch tab, you will get that file name, space $form run. Okay, so everybody please type this command in the terminal, cp space -r space ChemForm underscore TechCube space $form run. So what this command does is that it copies that folder, that extracted folder from the downloads folder to our form run directory. So if I press enter and then go to this, sorry. Now we have to go to the form run folder. So cd form run. So you can see now I am in the run folder of OpenFOAM. And when I'm listing the files, I can see that I have a lot of other files. So I'm able to locate this ChemForm underscore TechCube. So I will give some time for everyone to follow these steps. So basically what you have to do is you have to extract that zip folder, copy that file from the downloads to the form run directory and see whether that has been copied correctly. So I will just wait for some time. So if you're able to do that, please give a quick yes in the chat box.
4 people have said yes so far.
Okay, then I think there will be no issues in copying. If anyone has some issues, please let us know. So it's very straightforward. You are just copying a file from the downloads to the form run directory. Then right now we'll go to that file, cd ChemForm underscore TechCube. And we'll see what are the folders we have. We have a constant folder, we have the system folder, and we have validation folder. Right now, please leave this validation folder. Actually, I have copied the case file from some standard cases where there was comparison with those experimental data, experimental results. So you please leave that validation folder as of now. You can delete that folder also, it will not affect the simulation. So mainly you will have the constant and the system folder. So we'll come back to our slides. So in the constant, we have different files. Chemistry properties, initial reactions, thermo and thermophysical properties. Similarly, system folder has different files. So we will just look at those files. Okay, so to get into the folder from the terminal, you can type Nautilus space dot. So what it basically does is that from the terminal, you will go to this folder, ChemForm underscore TechCube folder. So you can see that there is a constant and the system folder. So inside the constant folder, we have different files, and these three are the important files that is that are needed for this chemical reaction modeling. One is the thermophysical properties, reactions, and thermo. So we'll go one by one. So first, in this particular tutorial, what I will try to do is we'll model a very simple ethane cracking reaction. Though it is a multi-step reaction, we'll consider only a single step reaction where C2H6, ethane, gets dissociated to ethylene plus hydrogen. So we will try to model this reaction using the ChemForm solver. So before going into that reaction, let us consider a very general reaction that A plus B gives C plus D. This is a very general reaction. The capital A defines as chemical species, for example, C2H6, C2H4, and the small a defines the stoichiometric coefficients. In chemical reactions, you will have the coefficients in front of chemical species. So when we consider this basic reaction A plus B gives C plus D, how to define this reaction in open form? So that's our question. So we will define, it is defined in such a way that in constant reactions file, we have to define species, number of species, how many species we have, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to define that there are 4 species and we have to write the species A, B, C, D. Then we have to define the reactions and type this irreversible Arrhenius reaction. I will come later. So reaction is just, we are typing those reaction, A power the stoichiometric coefficient plus B power the stoichiometric coefficients gives C power the stoichiometric coefficient plus D power the stoichiometric coefficient. So this is how you have to write a chemical reaction in the reactions file in chem form, in general in open form. So now we have to modify this particular file for our case. Our case is a simple ethane cracking. So for that, what we will do is, first we have to open the reactions file. So for that, I will open in gedit, constant, and we have the reactions file, right? So I will open that file and we have this general reaction, right? So we have 4 species. So a quick question. So instead of 4, how many species we have in an ethane cracking? I have explained that we have C2H6 gives C2H4 plus H2, right? So how many species we have to write instead of 4 in our case?
3, sir.
Yes, good. So we have 3 species. What are the species? We have C2H6, C2H4, and H2, right? So let's change this file. So this is a hands-on section. So you have to open this file using terminal gedit. The command is gedit space constant / reactions. So that will open this file. After opening this file, right now we are starting to edit this file. So instead of 4, we have to change it to 3. So which are the species? So first species will be C2H6. So it's very straightforward. Actually, the open form language, we can directly write the species name and then we will define. There will be no confusion as to whether it will be 6 will be uppercase or H will be uppercase or lowercase. You have to just write that species directly. So we have C2H6, then we have C2H4 and C2H6, C2H4, and finally we have H2, right? And I'm deleting the 4th one because we have only 3 species. Fine. So this type of reaction I will come in the coming slide. I will explain in the coming slide. So coming to the reaction. So how to write this particular reaction? C2H6 gives C2H4 plus H2. So in form, we have to write C2H6 power the stoichiometric coefficient. The coefficient of that particular chemical species is 1, right? So that will give C2H4 power 1 and we have H2 power 1, right? So you just edit this 2 lines. One is the species line and the reaction line. And if there are any doubts, please let me know. I will come to these A, beta, and TA later in the coming slide, how to change these values. You just write this reaction, the basic reaction that we are trying to model. Also, if you have multiple reactions, so most of the chemical reactions will not be a single step reaction. So if you have multiple reactions, you can copy this, you can paste it in down, and you can write the next reaction and give the required coefficient. Similarly, you can write n number of reactions, n number of multi-step reaction, and the final concentration of the reactions and products will be calculated based on all the reactions. That OpenFOAM will do for you. So if you have finished this part, please give a quick yes.
Done, sir.
Good, good. So we will wait for another 1 minute for everyone to finish. So it's very simple. We are just defining the species and we are giving the reaction. So it's very straightforward.
Done, sir.
Okay, good, good.
So, Dr. Jayachandran, there are also some questions.
Okay.
Someone is asking if the type needs to be changed from irreversible to reversible. And if the power can be a fraction too.
Okay. Actually, I was going to explain that. Anyway, we have said that our equation is a reversible reaction, right? So you have to change this IR to that. I am going to do in the next slide. Other than that, you are asking whether this power can be 2. Yes, this power can be 2. For example,
no, I think they want to know if the power can be a fraction as well.
Yes, power can be a fraction as well. Depending on the equations, whatever you have, 1/2 or 3/4, just make it 0.5 or 0.75 and enter it here. It can be a fraction as well, depending on the reaction, whichever reaction you have. So I think I can move on, right? Most of them may have completed. Yes.
So for the question, if the power should be entered in y/x form or if it can be in decimal form,
that actually I'm not sure. You just try in y/x form and see whether the solver is giving any error. I think Ashley or Divyesh can say it better. I'm not sure whether this y/x will give any error. You can just try in y. If that doesn't work, you have to give in decimal again. So that I'm not sure. So okay, I'm just moving on if there are no further questions. So coming to this reaction, so what we have done is we have basically defined the reaction, right? So the next step would be to define these coefficients, right? We have defined something, right? We have defined the type as reversible Arrhenius reaction, right? So what does that mean? So this basically means that for a general chemical reaction, we have the reaction rate, that is the amount of reactants consumed or the amount of products formed per unit time, per unit volume or weight of the catalyst, or whichever term they are using to define the reaction rate. So that reaction rate omega will be for a reversible reaction Kf, which is a forward reaction coefficient, into A power A into B power B, A and B minus Kr, reverse rate constant, into C power C into D power D. That is for this particular reaction. So in our so this square bracket implies a molar concentration of the species. So the idea is that when the reactant species or reactant concentration is more, we will have the forward reaction more. That more amount of reactants will be converted to products. When the product concentration is more, it will convert back to the reactants. So that's how a reversible reaction works. So based on that assumption, so our case for the simple ethane reaction, we will have the reaction rate Kf into C2H6, which is a reactant, minus Kr into C2H6 into H2, because the stoichiometric coefficients are all 1. And this is basically assuming an elementary reaction. Most of the cases, it will not be an elementary reaction. So for different orders of reaction, these powers will change. So I will not go into details of that, which is again a vast topic. So we will just assume it for a elementary reaction. So this is the Arrhenius reaction equator. So in this, the concentration will be giving as an initial condition and the solver will be solving. This Kf is a parameter, Kf and K are parameters we have to provide to the solver. So that can be provided based on different experimental fitting equations. Arrhenius reaction rate is one such equation where Kf is defined as A T power beta E power minus Ta by T. So A, beta and Ta. These three parameters are experimental fitting parameters or some model fitting parameters. So that has to be determined from experiment or some other theoretical models. And this we have to have in handy whenever we have a reaction from standard repositories or standard papers. We have to have these three data, the value for A, beta and Ta. For this particular ethane reaction, I had a paper and from that I have taken these values. A, Ta and beta. In your case, whichever reaction you are modeling, you have to get it from some standard cases. And reverse reaction constant is calculated as a function of Kf using equilibrium rate constant. It's an involved calculation. I'm not providing the equations right now because that's not the main motto. Our aim is to see how ChemForm can model this reaction, right? So next step is that we have to enter this A value 4.652 E power plus 30 and Ta value 32,831, right? And as of now, though it is a reversible reaction, I am keeping it as an irreversible Arrhenius reaction. Later, as an homework or assignment problem, you can try a reversible Arrhenius reaction also. So in reversible, if it is an irreversible, this term will not be there. Only the first term will be there. Okay. So what we have to change? We have to give the values for A, beta, and T. So A value is 4.652 e power plus 30. So we will change that value 4.652 e power plus 13, and beta will be 0 in our in this particular case, and then we have TA is 32,831. So can give that value as well and save this file. So you just edit these values. So I'll be also providing at the end of the section, I will be sending you a document as well where these equations are explained. How this, that is for a nitrogen oxidation case, that clearly defines how these equations come. So you can go through that, because since it's a chemical reaction, it will take some time for you to digest in the equations because they can be complex. So the only thing is that there is a method to find the amount of reactants that is consuming or amount of product that is forming based on an empirical correlation. So that correlation has some fitting parameters that we have to provide. So for different reactions that you have, that you want to model, you have to get that fitting parameters and enter in open form. So in this particular case, A is 4.652 e power plus 30 and TA is 32,831. So you can just change these values. And is there any questions? Please let me know. Okay, there has been a question. What is KR? KR is the reverse reaction rate coefficient. KF is the forward reaction rate coefficient. So if you change these values, please send a QKS or you can unmute and tell so that we can proceed further.
Yogesh has said he's done.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Okay, Sheetal also has said he's done.
Okay, fine. So it's just straightforward. You have to just change these values. A is, again, I'm just repeating, A is 4.652 e power plus 30 and TA is 32,831. Fine. So we will save this file. So what basically we have done in this particular portion is that we have defined how many species we have. We had 3 species. We had defined those species. Then what we have done, we had defined the chemical reaction along with the stoichiometric coefficient. So we had defined that. Then we have defined that this particular reaction will follow a reaction rate based on this irreversible Arrhenius reaction. So we know the formula from the slides. So based on that, there are 3 model fitting parameters and we have entered the values of that parameters. So that concludes this reactions file part. So you have to save the file and then close, then coming back. So coming to the next file. So next important file in reaction modeling is the thermophysical properties file. So you have already seen this thermophysical properties file. Ashley has explained some of the terms, what does that signify. So I will just explain what is new to you. So one is this reacting mixture. So in the previous tutorial, you have seen that you have used a pure mixture, right? So I will go to that file and explain. So to open that file, you have to type gedit constant and then thermophysical properties. Okay. So you have to open that file. You can see that different properties are different. So reacting mixture is a variable composition mixture that is used for reacting flow applications. And then we have that for the transport, we have the Sutherland formula. So this is a basic definition that is available with the tutorial case, where the viscosity is calculated as a function of temperature. So in that also there are 2 modeling parameters, AS and TS. So I will come to how to define these parameters in open form. Then we have the Janov model, right? For thermo, we have the Janov model. Janov model, what it basically does is that it will calculate CP, specific heat, enthalpy, and entropy as a function of temperature from a set of coefficients. So in the next slide, I will explain how these 3 terms are calculated based on a set of coefficients. And then we have the sensible enthalpy setting and the perfect gas. So these are the basic settings that can be used for a reacting flow. Now comes the most important part in the thermophysical properties file. Previously, in this file, you may not have defined these three lines, right? So these three are important lines that is required for a chemical reaction modeling in OpenFOAM. One is that chemistry reader. This is a form chemistry reader file where the whole code for this chemical reaction modeling is written. So you have to read that file, form chemistry reader, for the properties of the materials. Then form chemistry file. So in that you have to define that $form case constant reactions. $form case means that the particular case file, whatever case file you are running, it will go to that case file. And in constant, we have defined the reactions, right? Just now we have edited the reactions. So it has to call this reactions file using this command. And then we have the form chemistry thermo file where the thermodynamic properties are defined. So I will come to that file in a bit. So that is regarding this thermophysical properties file, and you don't have to edit anything in anything right now in this. So it's already the final setting. So you have to save this file, and coming to the another important file is gedit constant thermo. Okay, so this is a thermo file where you can see that for different species C2H6, C2H4 and H2. So I have already entered these values before because we don't have time to enter these values manually as a part of the session. So you have already entered these values. So we have whatever things you have to define. You have to define the molecular weight of the species. Then in the thermodynamics, I have explained that we are using a Janef model, right? So Janef model, what happens is that Cp, the specific heat, enthalpy and entropy will be calculated as a function of temperature, and these are the formulas. So there will be 7 coefficients, A1 to A7, for the calculation of these 3 parameters, and they are calculated based on this high Cp coefficients and low Cp coefficients. So the understanding is that from T low to T common, 200 to 1000 Kelvin, the high Cp coefficients will be used, and from 1000 to 3000 Kelvin, the low Cp coefficients will be used. And coming to the transport in the viscous model, we have seen that we are using a Sutherland model, but right now we don't have a fluid domain, right? We are solving it in a single cell. So we don't have to enter these values. It can be given 0 or any values you give does not affect because you don't have the fluid right now. This is just a chemistry validation software. So based on this, so this particular files also, you don't have to edit anything. I have already edited this one. So you have to just save and close. So is there any doubt till this point? Mainly this thermophysical properties file and thermo file. You can just ask. Then we will proceed further. So if you have any doubt, please comment in the chat box or unmute and ask. Let us proceed. So what we have done is we have defined the reactions file, thermophysical properties file, and thermo files. Okay. So next comes the initial conditions file, right? So in the initial conditions file, what we have to basically do is we have to specify the initial molar fractions of different species. For a general reaction ABCD, we have to define the volume, mole fractions of the species and the pressure and temperature. Because in this particular solver, if you have seen, you can see that there is a constant and system folder, but you haven't seen a 0 folder, right? Because usually in 0 folder, we give this initial conditions and boundary conditions. Since it's a single cell geometry, we don't have the 0 folder. So the initial conditions have to be specified in this particular file. So we will just open that file, gedit constant initial conditions file, and see what is its content. So we have the fractions. So this constant property pressure that we are using for this particular reaction, if in your case that is not valid, you can change that. Different options are available. So based on that, the fractions we have to define, right? So we have 3 species, C2H6, C2H4, and H2, right? So we have to edit this. So you can start editing. So this you have to change to C2H6, and then you have C2H4, and then you have H2. And you can delete this D because we have only 3 species. And for example, at the starting of a reaction, we are assuming that only the reactant is present, the product is absent. So based on that, we'll give, this is per fraction. So we'll give C2H6 1. So the entire simulation will start as if it is filled only with ethane. Only ethane is filled in the domain, and it will undergo cracking. So save this file. Then we have to define the pressure and temperature. So these values again comes from your reactor conditions. If you have a packed bed reactor or a photocatalytic reactor or whichever reactor you have to take those conditions, reactor inlet conditions, and give those values. So pressure in my case, in my particular ethane cracking case, was around 3 atm, and temperature was around 933.15 Kelvin. So this is in Pascal and this is in Kelvin. So I will just change those values. 2.99 e per plus 0.5, and we have the temperature 953.15 Kelvin. So I'm just saving this file. So I will just wait for a minute for you to edit these files. So you understood, right? The fractions are the initial mole fractions of the different species that you can give. Then you have to give the inlet temperature and pressure of the reactor. So these values you can enter. So I'll just wait for a minute. It's just straightforward. You have to just change the values.
So Mr. Sendal wants to know if they need to specify the phase as well.
Okay. Actually, Senthil, the thing is that this particular solver, as I explained, is a chemistry validation solver, right? So regarding the phases definition, that comes only when there is a fluid domain. So after this particular tutorial, I will just show you some examples how those phases are defined in a chemically reacting flow in open form. So this particular solver has only one cell. There is no other cell. There is no fluid flowing. We are just validating the chemistry reactions. Okay. So I will just show you how those phases can be defined. If there are gas and liquid phases, how that is defined in open form in the two-phase Euler form code. I will just show you one tutorial how that is defined. So right now in this particular case, there will be no phases because there is no fluid domain. Only we are validating the chemical reaction. So our output will be only the concentration of the different species and the temperature and pressure as well. Okay, so you have to just enter these values. I'm going ahead. I think there are no further doubts. So you have to save this file, close. Okay, fine. So basically, these three are the important files that have to be edited in these four, actually, including initial conditions that have to be edited in a chemistry solver in open form. So coming to this chemistry properties, this file we have to define that these are the solver specifications. As I have said, the system of ODE that we are solving, that is a concentration of different species, enthalpy, and the equation of state. So that is defined here. So you don't have to change anything here unless if your particular problem demands it. Then in the system folder, we have the control dict file. As in normal CFD problems, we have to define a start time, end time, delta t, and at what interval you have to write the files, right? So that I have already defined. So you don't have to open these files. I'm just showing you what is inside these files. Then we have the FP schemes file. So in that we are using an Euler scheme to solve this single equation, that is mainly the concentration equation. And then we have the FP solutions file. We are defining the solver is the yi dot, and it is solved using this method. So you don't have to edit any of these. So you can come back to the terminal. So this is basically it. So right now you have to just run the simulation. So it will be CHCM FOAM. F will be caps. So you have to, it will take around 30 seconds to 40 seconds. You just run the simulation. Is everyone able to run, or is there any error? Please let me know. I think it should be, you should be able to run.
Done. Yeah, I think at least one person has said done. So I think they are able to run it.
Okay, I don't actually anticipate any errors. It should run fine. So based on this, before going into the post-processing part, let us, okay, fine, good. So now let us just see what these terms actually mean. We have seen that the initial temperature was around 953 Kelvin, right? Now it has decreased to 731.506 Kelvin. So what does that physically imply? So anyone has any answer to that? Initially it was 953. Now it has become 731 Kelvin. What could be the possible reason? Can unmute and share your views also.
Endothermic reaction.
Exactly. So this particular reaction, ethane cracking, is an endothermic reaction. Okay. So that's why the temperature is getting reduced. And if you see the C2H6 ethane, it from 1 mole fraction, it has to decrease to 0.82 mole fraction. So we are seeing that the temperature has decreased, and this basically implies that we are able to model the reaction, right? So since we are able to model the reaction, we were able to get these values. So now we will plot the variation of temperature. Actually, the concentration variation, there is no direct way to plot. So I'm not plotting it right now. So before that, if you go to that folder, which you can see that at different time steps, different files are generated. And let us open the file. I will just show you. You don't have to open, you just see the monitor. So at 10,000, you can see that C2H6, right? C2H6 concentration has reduced to 0.826846 from 1. Initially, it was 1, right? And these are the products. So let's open that and see. So the product, the ethylene C2H4 has increased from 0 to 0.161545. And then for H2, hydrogen gas, which is again the product, it has increased from 0 to 0.0116089. Okay, so this is regarding the concentration. So other than that, if you see, there is a chemform.out file that has been generated. So if you open that file, there is at different time you can see the temperature as well as pressure values. So the temperature initially it is 953.15 Kelvin, and it is decreasing to at different time steps. So this data is saved. So we have to plot this data because we have to see whether the steady state have achieved or not for this particular reaction. For that, you have to go to terminal. You just type along with me GNU plot. The command is GNU plot. GNU plot. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, can you show me your initial conditions file once?
Okay, sure. This will be the initial condition file. We'll be defining the mole fractions, pressure, and temperature. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm getting an error over here on line 21. It is expecting a bracket, whereas it has gotten something else.
What error? Actually, what it is saying, what is missing?
Wrong token type. Expected word found on line 21, the punctuation token.
In which
Curve
file?
bracket. In the image reaction species.
In the
Reactions.
Okay. The reactions file, can you just cross check? I don't think there will be, maybe you have typed something extra or you have missed some keywords. So you just check whether you have entered everything similar to this one.
Yes, sir, I'm checking that.
Okay.
You can also post a screenshot in the chat.
Yeah, that will also do.
We can take a look at it.
It's most
Okay,
probably.
sir, you can continue. I'll do that.
Okay, most probably you may have written some extra letter or you may have deleted something. So that may be the reason. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Got
Okay,
it.
so okay. Okay, fine. So I was in that. Okay, GNU plot. So we have to plot the variation of temperature with time. So you can type GNU plot, enter. So you will go to that, and in that you have to type, because you have to take this data from this particular file, right? Chemform.out. So how to plot is that you have to type. So everyone has typed GNU plot, right? So after that you have to type plot within quotes. The file name is chemform.out, right? End the quotes. So chemform.out. So in that we have seen that we have the temperature value, right? So we have to plot the temperature versus time, and this is a ratio of the image, ratio of the graph. So you have to type first GNU plot, then plot within quotes chemform.out file. From that you have to take the temperature and plot it. So if you click on enter, you will get the temperature plot. So the y-axis is the temperature and the x-axis you have the time. So you can see that from the initial condition it has decreased and it is actually kind of achieving a steady state. It has not achieved, but in time it will achieve a steady state. So we have considered an irreversible reaction, right? So as an homework problem or assignment, you can consider a reversible reaction and see how this graph changes. Then you can consider a combustion reaction and see whether the temperature is increasing. So you understood the basic methodology, right? You can give some methane combustion, CH4 plus O2 gives this final products. So you can try something like that, the basic single equation models, and get familiar with this particular solver. So if you want to save this file, you can just export it to PDF or export to image, anything will work. So everyone is able to visualize this plot or not? So please give me a quick yes or something.
Yes, sir. Got the plot, sir.
Good, good.
So, Dr. Jayachandran, someone wants you to show that initial condition once.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, that I have shown, right? That was
Once more, I think.
once more. Okay. Fine. That's the initial condition folder. So first one will be the fraction C2H6 1. Then only the reactant will be present, C2H4 and H2. Then we have the pressure and temperature. That is the reactor inlet conditions.
Is that okay, Mr. Ketan?
Can you hold for a minute so we can change it, because we forgot to change this initial conditions.
Okay, okay, fine. I'll wait.
Thank you.
So this, since it is an irreversible reaction, can we expect the mole fraction of the reactants becoming 0 and the products becoming 1 each if we give enough time?
Actually, that may okay, since we have given irreversible over a period of time, it can happen. But as you have seen, I have given some 10,000 seconds, right? Then also it is just coming to that range, and it will come it will take very long time to achieve that condition, whatever you are saying. And I think there is some reactor efficiency also that comes into picture. So since it is a chemistry validation software, you can ideally get that. But in your actual fluid domain, you will never get that, because there are this other factors that limit the rate of reaction. Like if you have gas liquid, the interface will limit the rate of mass transfer. So in this chemistry validation software, if you run for infinite time, for a longer interval of time, you may get near values of 0 for the reactant. But in real cases, you will not get.
Then since it is an irreversible reaction, what's the role of Kr in it?
No, actually in our actual reaction is an reversible reaction. For this particular tutorial, I have just given irreversible. You can try reversible. That's my intention. So you can try a reversible. You can change this to reversible and do that. Okay, because this Arrhenius reaction rate is only for Kf. Kr will be calculated as a function of Kf. There is another equation for that thing. So I will share that file with you. So this Kf is this Arrhenius equation only calculates the forward reaction rate in this particular problem. Okay. So we are not defining Kr anywhere.
Okay.
Okay. So you can try that. You can change that irreversible to reversible Arrhenius and run one simulation, how the temperature is varying, how the concentration is varying. That you can try.
Thank you for the sharing that initial condition. We have modified. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So you just run the simulation and see the plots. Then coming back, so you can type exit to exit the GNU plot. So this is basically the introduction to ChemForm tutorial. So what I will do is I will show you some. You don't have to do this step. So I will show you some standard tutorial cases where this has been incorporated into a fluid domain. Okay. So for example, let's take a combustion case. This is a tutorials in OpenFOAM, and in combustion, you don't have to click these files. I will just show you. So in the reacting form, so all these solvers are basically for chemically reacting species. So OpenFOAM have different solvers, mainly for combustion, and these are different solvers that are available. And if you go to reacting form and take one example, so this is an example I'm taking, and here you can see that there is this thermophysical properties file, right? We know how to edit this file. We have defined this file and we have called the reactions. Then we have the reactions file where we will define the reaction. We have to define the species. There are different ways of defining. You are defined like this also. So there is a reaction you are defining and you are giving the coefficients, everything, and you have the thermo file, right? So there was a question, if there is gas and liquid. So if there is gas and liquid, you can have two different thermophysical properties files. One can be thermophysical properties.liquid and thermophysical properties.gas. And then you can edit those files accordingly. So there is one more example in multi-phase flow. I'll just show you that example in a bit. So these three files are there. There are some combustion files are there. So to define whether the combustion model is laminar or turbulent, whichever model you are selecting. So other than that, you have seen that now in the system folder, we have a block mesh, right? So we have all the files we had earlier in ChemForm. Plus that we are creating a geometry and mesh using the block mesh dig file. So I don't know which geometry is inside that. There will be any kind of geometry. So you can insert a geometry into this folder. Then if you are inserting a geometry, you have to insert a zero folder also, because you have to give the initial velocity, pressure, concentration, everything. So in this particular case, you can see that there is no initial conditions file, because it's not a ChemForm. This is other solvers that actually solve CFD. So in zero, you have to define the concentrations, everything at the different portions, fuel, air, outlet. These are the different things that are defined in block mesh. Okay, so this is one thing. So this is, I think, methane combustion that we have done. So this is how our particular files can be modified for an actual open form case, that is a CFD case. So due to time limitation, I'm not showing the simulations. Then I just want to show in a multi-phase case how this is implemented. In the multi-phase solvers, we have the reacting multi-phase Euler form and the reacting two-phase Euler form. Okay, these are the two solvers that deals with reacting two-phase flows. So in reacting two-phase Euler form, we have so for example, if you take this bubble column evaporating reacting case, here you can see there is a thermophysical properties dot liquid and thermophysical properties dot gas. Okay, then you can define the reactions, everything. And so what I would suggest is that you go through all these tutorials, just see how our particular file can be modified to different cases. Okay, so that will be a good exercise. So you will get an understanding how it can be changed. And one final thing I just want to show is that right now we have seen a single step reaction, right? But in most of the cases, the reactions will not be single step. So for example, if you take the hydrogen combustion, if you go to the constant folder and see the thermophysical properties, here you can see that instead of writing the equations, they have called some other files, right? This is a chem.in, term.date, and these files, right? So these are from a proprietary software. Chemkin is a software that solves these chemical reactions. So you can make a note of it. When you get time, you can go through that solver. The Chemkin solver, we can import the chemical reaction from that solver, because most of our case, chemical reaction will not be our main focus, because the fluid domain we have to model heat transfer, everything. So you just want just the reactions. Chemkin, this folder is actually Chemkin. You can import it from the Chemkin software, and these are the reactions. So you can see there are something like 48 reactions, around 45 reactions are there. And each reaction and the A, beta, and TA has been defined in this file. So you can export this file from the Chemkin software, and you have defined the elements and species in this way. So this can be directly exported. This is one way. And the in the term.date file also, you'll be having different species. All the species will be defined in a single file. So this is basically for this multi-step reactions having multiple species. So in that case, it's not possible for us to write down all the equations. If it's possible, it's well and good. Otherwise, we can import it from some standard softwares or standard chemistry solvers are there. You can import that data from there, and OpenForm has the capability to read that data using these three commands using ChemFin5. So basically, you can go through all these 5 cases in ChemForm folder also, because these are complex cases. That's why I modified it to a very simple case. These are multi-step, multi-component cases. So you can just go through, and the methodology and the idea will be same. Okay. So if there are any questions, we can take.
Sir, I don't want to see how it is done, but I want to know whether it can be done. That is, if we go for incomplete combustion processes like carbon burns to form carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, and sometimes because of the inefficiency of the combustion chamber, oxygen may be there, but still it forms carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide as products. In such cases, can we incorporate the efficiency of the combustion chamber also into it so that this incomplete combustion can be handled?
Actually, I don't know whether the efficiency can be directly important, because this efficiency will come as a part of your CFD simulation, right? Because some reactant is coming maybe in gas or liquid phase, it is getting mixed. That depends on the overall geometry and that one, right? You can always define the reaction rate for that particular reaction, and that efficiency should come as a result of your CFD simulation. Please correct me if I am wrong. I think it is in that way, right?
Actually, the problem is that this fuel may not be properly mixed with the oxidant, and thus it is because of that that the oxidation may not be completed.
Understood.
Full. In such case, I'm also not sure whether it can be done.
Okay, what I understand is that, I may be wrong also. So what I understand is that this fuel mixing is again a fluid dynamic phenomena, right? So
Yeah.
we have to model that, and from that the efficiency will come as an output. That's what I believe. I don't know whether that can be directly given as an input condition. So I'm also not sure about that.
The particle size also matters. That is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And sir, where is the latent heat of vaporization accommodated? Because when the fine temperature is arrived, if there occurs a phase change, as I asked you earlier, how can we accommodate for the latent heat of vaporization, which also takes some heat, which is not.
For that particular case, you can refer to that multi-phase, reacting two-phase Euler form code, because it's very complex, that phase change and accommodating that, because this particular reaction that I have modeled is fully gas. All the three phases are gases. It's just gaseous phase that was intentionally selected to make it simple, this reaction modeling. I think you can refer to this reacting two-phase Euler form and reacting multi-phase Euler form. Those two are very powerful solvers which can model these kind of problems. In that, this phase change modeling, I don't know whether I have it ready. Just see whether that file is there. Okay, in that there is a phase change modeling, and I'm sorry, I'm unable to locate that. So that will be there in that, in this particular solvers. This you can mainly concentrate on this reacting two-phase Euler form and reacting multi-phase Euler form. That may give you some idea.
Okay, sir. I just wanted to know whether it's possible.
Okay, I haven't tried that, so I'm not commenting on that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So there is a question: is there any case study on electrochemical systems? Also, in my system, there is a hydrogen evolution accompanied by electrode deposition, and also there is a pulse flow. How can you solve all the three problems simultaneously? Okay. So actually, I think one of the professors can take this question. I'm also not so sure what exactly.
I think this is Professor Janani. So I think we have to look into this actually, because none of us have really worked on combustion related stuff or even chemical reactions related stuff. But you can write to us and maybe we can refer to something and come back to you to help you with this. So you can just email us and then probably we'll spend some time checking this out.
Madam, there are some audibility issues. Not clear, madam.
I think what Professor Janani is saying, that we need to look at this in detail, not just from the face of the question. So it would be good if they can write to us with the details and we can get back to them through that, given the time that we have now. So I think if there are no more questions, then I would like to thank Dr. Jayachandran for that fantastic session on ChemFoam. And I'm sure everyone has benefited from that.